your house and show them how grand your living room furniture is and your deck is, even though the repo folks is calling for your car right now. You want to show off and be grand. How foolish. Says all we want to do is eat, drink, and be merry. That's what the foolish mind is concerned about. They want to eat, drink, and be merry. They want to buy their kids stuff, but don't teach them anything of value. How are we like the fraudulent crowd? The crowd was a fraud because they had a form of godliness, but they denied the power of God that was flowing through them. They knew how to use their ability when it was convenient for them. You know how to use your talents and your gifts to make somebody else money. You use it every day when you go to work to support somebody else's dream, to make them rich, but you're too scared to step out and use the God-given abilities and powers that you have to serve yourself. You are a fraud. You're a fraud when you act out of integrity with yourself and you serve to make somebody else rich while you suffer in silence. You're a fraud when you use all of your energy and all of your might to build somebody else's dream while your own dream is dying. You're a fraud when you use all of your resources and pour them down a well of somebody else to get rich while you don't even have the money to support your own community. You're acting out of integrity with your power. Acting out of integrity with who God designed you to be. So why did Jesus call this man a fool? And why did he call the crowd a fraud? Some of y'all might think that's a little too harsh. You might think that's a little too negative. That Jesus should have been a little more nice and a little more kind in his approach. But I would say to you that I don't think that everybody knows the same Jesus that I know. There's been a misinterpretation of who Jesus is. I hear you folks talking about you're saved and you believe that God's going to make a way out of no way, and he will. But you can't pray Ferguson away. You can't pray these situations away. I can't get no help right there because y'all want to be on your knees. Your knees is ran rugged because you want to stay on your knees and pray stuff away. But the Jesus that I know, the Jesus that I serve, would not take anybody treating him with disrespect. The Jesus that I know was an African Hebrew Messiah that didn't take no mess from nobody. And while you're praying to Jesus, I believe Jesus is telling you what you're going to do about the situation. That old slave mentality, by and by, we'll receive our reward. Just pray and let Jesus fix it, Jesus. Just fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. In both cases, Jesus used confrontation and disruption to initiate a paradigm shift. Somebody said confrontation and disruption to initiate a paradigm shift. Can I be clear with you that there is always going to be a crisis moment that will cause you to become conscious of what you've been sleeping to? Can I help you understand that there will always be a moment of awakening? There will always be a crisis that shows up when you're operating less than your potential, when you're operating beneath your authority, when you're not claiming your birthright, when you're talking yourself down. There will always be a crisis that shows up to make you stand in your power. Somebody here can testify that I didn't know how creative I was until I got laid off. Or I need somebody to testify that I didn't know how much strength I had until stuff started spiraling out of control. Or I didn't know how much authority I could speak in my voice until I was backed up against the wall. There's somebody that can testify that when your faith is tested, you come out stronger. So I need you to understand that God is not haphazard, and God does not allow things to happen just so that they can happen. But we are standing on the edge of one of the greatest moments of our generation, where it's up to us to declare our authority and use this opposition as an opportunity to transform our community. It's a paradigm shift. You've heard Pastor talk about the paradigm shift. Now, the cycle of the paradigm